Hey, I'm Jennifer. Welcome to my video. You're catching me on True Divine 44. You can get to me through Facebook as well at True Divine 44. Any likes, shares, subscribes and comments are greatly appreciated on either or both of those platforms, and mwah to everybody who's doing that thus far. So I put out as much free content as I can. Part of that is the daily energy readings where I play around with the energy and pick up on what they're like, then back that up through tarot and bring the full story to you. It's up to you to discern for yourself what is really there for you, what catches you in your heart. Anything else, just leave behind. Don't bring it into your world. Don't manifest it into your world by overthinking it. So this is for the 20th of the 5th, the 20th of May 2020, and it is the daily energy reading for the day. So the first card being this Divine Feminine, this Queen of Pentacles. These queens have been coming up now for a good month and a half through the daily energy reads and through some of the monthly reads. It's this Divine Feminine energy I feel in this time of reset, in this time of pause, that is manifesting back into our consciousness. Not that she ever left, but that she was veiled, forgotten, not remembered by us, the collective. And so the true Divine Feminine seems to be coming back, and the right people, the switched on people too, that are soaking up that energy, that Divine Feminine energy, like a plant soaks up the water, those roots soaking up and remembering what it is like to be the Divine Feminine, to be able to foreknow, foresee and foretell. Now this queen, the energy of this queen is protective. She's the mother, she's the planner, she's grounded, she's of earth. So she is of creation, we all are, but you know, she has a special connection with the earth, the womb, the protectiveness of that, the nurturing of that, the compassion, the nourishing of that. And so for a lot of people, they've been coming into their own and feeling a lot of differences in themselves, you know, that switched on feeling, that feeling that knowing more than you knew before, or just being able to make sense of the same situation but in a very different way because of the attributes of this Divine Feminine that people have been taking on board and implementing. I feel a lot of people have really had the chance and the opportunity that was meant for harm, but turned around for good in the home with their children, i.e. really reconnecting with their children, having enough hours in the day to reconnect with their children, and really being able to see where education is lacking, in teaching the role of compassion, of nurturing, of nourishing yourself and others, of respecting Mother Nature, of respecting themselves therefore. And there's been this turnaround, this switch around of, okay, I need to do something. This Divine Feminine energy comes through, this energy of this queen, to educate, to nurture every part of the child, to take control of it. This is about the family. This is about starting as we mean to go on, by bringing some of the past rituals that we used to have, that used to make family feel connected, to make family feel whole, bringing that into the now. And recognizing that yes, we might have forgotten what those little things like communicating, like eating at the dinner table together, did to knit the family together, to be able to open up dialogue and communication. And it's the remembering of that, of like, oh yes, that seems like such a little thing, but actually it's not. Everybody's unloading and or sharing in the bliss of the news of the child's day at the dinner table. And through that, there's that energy exchange of being connected, of being there with the person as they describe their day and the activities and the experiences that they went through. Not to mention, it's known that you digest better when you eat together. So there's that being implemented a lot, and that is encouraging. It's inspirational, because even more inspirational in that this energy has come up in a time of lack, in a time of worry, in a time where there's lots of fear being bandied about and lots of people taking on that fear. Yet this energy is so strong. This energy is so in us, and we're so capable of using and manifesting this energy to create connectedness with everything. Even the power of that even has overcome what is meant for harm, in that this fear mongering, this closing down, this locking down of people. A lot of people have actually turned that around and maybe thought, you've locked us down in this home. Okay, I'm going to free this home. I'm going to free this home of all of the things that we used to think we had to get done, and when we because we had to do that, we didn't spend time together. I'm going to free up communication within this home. I'm going to free up honesty within this home, and honesty is a big one. Honesty is a big one for some reason. I'll come back to that. So the second card is the Empress. So the Empress being the combination, the expression of the inspiration and intuition of the Magician. The Magician and the High Priestess. So she is the expression of us knowing that we manifest our reality through our feelings, through our thoughts, through our experiences. I think here it does speak of very much fruitfulness and activity, fertility. But I think the Empress wants to remind people today, the energy of this card wants to remind people today that we're very laxy-daisy with our expressions, what we say to ourselves, what we do, carrying out roles each day that actually we don't like doing, or that it doesn't represent us. All of these things contribute to us building up the reality that we live in. All of these limitations, all of these lockdowns, all of these things that we tie ourselves into that actually don't represent us, because we're always expanding, we're always learning, we're always changing. And I feel there's big change going on with a lot of people. So I think it's a case of recognizing our power, recognizing the fact that we can very easily bring in reality by just thinking it and speaking it out, or by just acting upon a command or a to-do list that doesn't represent us, that isn't us. And so to do it with more intent, to watch our words, to watch our actions more, to start to recognize that when we start cutting out the little manifestations to build up our realities that we do each day, that actually build up a reality that we're not actually 100% happy in, then you will see how powerful the manifestation process is, how powerful it is for us to draw from the dark woman manifest. If you look at this card, it's got the black behind her. Now for me, this is always that dark woman manifest, which for me is this energy womb that is blank, but it's creation, it's an energy that you can pick up, that you can seed it through thought, through feelings, through experience, through physical doings, and then see it come into fruition in reality with this Queen of Pentacles, in the material, in the matter. It's a much more simple than we let ourselves think, and much more powerful process than we let ourselves think. That we're accidentally pulling energy out of that dark woman manifest and creating something without intent, without really wanting more of that in our lives. We create even more of it because we feed into it. We don't detach from it and say, okay, this isn't my reality anymore, this isn't what I want. I want to build something here. I want to build this home. I want to build this family, whoever that may be. I want to build it. But instead, you carry on just going through the motions. And it's only, I think, when we cut that out and give ourselves time to see that when we throw something out with intent, when we speak something out with power behind it, to see how much, when we haven't got all the clutter of the accidental manifestations, we see how much the power in this thought process of grabbing this energy from creative source, from this dark woman manifest, and bringing it into reality with this 3, drawing it into matter. So but the 2 cards combined are speaking of, for me, to engage the divine feminine fully. And the divine feminine is flowing. The divine feminine is the actual substance that holds the matter. So the divine feminine actually holds and exalts the divine masculine within each and every one of us up. And his attributes shine more when the divine feminine is holding and giving space and time for that. So for any reset, in my mind, for any going forward into a reality with intent and actually knowing our true powers, going forward with that, for me, we have to start with the divine feminine. We have to start with learning how to engage the various aspects of that, how to express ourselves through that, rather than just expressing ourselves just through our mind willy-nilly here, there and everywhere. To be more grounded, to be more still and intentful, that when we do want to act, we can engage our divine masculine into action for things that we really do want, for things that we really do want to achieve, for the people we really do want to be around, for the way we want to be seen. So for all of those things, having more intent about it. So instead of being more in the masculine and more just action, do, action, do, action, do, to be a little bit more step back, to be able to foresee, foretell and foreknow, and seeing the importance of that, how that births things into reality faster than we realise. I think the joke is that when we do try to practice the manifestation process, and we're doing it with intent, but we're not well practiced in it, and we don't know everything behind it. I honestly think it's harder then to manifest what you want, because it's when we're doing it just because we've been trained to, controlled to, conditioned to, that this is our role, this is what we do, and then we continuously try to live up to that label. We're doing exactly what we should be doing in the intentful manifestation process of drawing out that energy, seeding it, thinking about it, feeling it, getting excited about it, and then releasing it to the universe to grab those moving parts and put them in place, for you to see them in your 3D world, in your conscious world. So I hope that makes sense. The 3rd card being the Death card, but it's in reverse. So, well, we've got the Empress, who is fruitful, active and fertile, wanting to create, wanting to draw things from the emotional and from the thinking and from the into the physical. Bringing the 2 of those into the physical, birthing them into the physical. We've got this Death card in reverse. So where the Death card represents, particularly on this card, it's a tree, dark on one side, light on the other, no leaves on one side, lots of leaves and fruit on the other. Where we've got that, it's a case of that there's some people that are still, they've gained knowledge about making their reality, about having the power to bring their own reality about. But then there's still this stuckness on change. There's still this conditioning that's been done about taking yourself out of a role that you no longer belong in, or that you don't want to experience anymore. The fear of change for a lot of people is incapacitating. It makes them fearful, even if it's something that they want. they try and cling on. You know, those roots don't want to be pulled up. You don't want to move those roots. Instead of thinking of it that way, as somebody pulling up a tree, pulling up a plant, removing those roots, try and think of it as just expanding your roots out to a different reality. You'll always have the reality that you're rooted into now. You'll always have this connection to the reality that you have been rooted in now. Even more so if you choose to be connected to it still. But to think of you, my tree in my garden, she's called juniper. She's not juniper, but she's not a juniper, but she looked like a juniper to me. She's huge, and she lets off these little things, these helicopter seeds that fly about, and I have to go around the garden very regularly to pick up her little seeds, you know, because within days they're shooting up. They're prolific. She never moves her roots. She's too big. She doesn't uproot and move. But she expands through her fruits. She expands through the expression of the two things, the magician and the high priestess, being expressed into the physical through the empress. She casts out her seeds. So she's always planted and rooted in her existence where she is now, but she can still experience life in a different way, from a different perspective, by casting out just a part of her to start a new experience, to start a new chapter, a new cycle. And so maybe that'll bring some peace to some people who are fearing this change that they so desperately want, in that stop thinking of it as an uprooting and that's no more, but more of a spreading out of those roots, so that there's more experience, so that there's more fruitfulness, more activity, rather than that cut off feeling that you're fearing so much, whoever I'm speaking to. So I'll clarify a little bit. I think that on the bottom of the deck, you see, you go from this beautiful death card, which is a beautiful card, this beautiful death card, but in reverse, restricting itself, being fearful of change, to, on the bottom of the deck, underpinning this whole reading, to just say, just let go. Just allow your heart to draw you to the next experience, to the next perspective that you are here to look at and learn from. Because look, the fruits that are cast from this tree are still a part of you. They still always will be. They're just adding to your story, adding to the perspective, adding to the experience. So I'm going to clarify a little bit of what people who I'm speaking to, what they're fearing most to let go of. Yeah, so there's new experiences for a lot of people, and I think this has come about again because of this reset and reconsideration and expansion in a lot of cases of people's consciousness. Is this going towards something, someone you love, and having no malice for anything that you're existing in now on the whole, but wanting to experience something or someone that you love, a passion, something creative that you want to do, or a person, somebody that you want to experience life with, somebody that you want to experience working with. So to fear that, there's nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. I don't know who said that, but it sounded really good in my head, so I wanted to say it. This death card brings nothing but fruitfulness, nothing but more experience, nothing but it never forgets its roots. It never uproots and leaves. It just casts out those fruits. It casts out parts of itself to experience more of this existence, more of this life. So it's actually a beautiful thing when you just let go. So I hope that all made sense. I can't quite actually remember what I said, I get like that sometimes when I'm in a bit of a flow. But it'll make sense to the right ears. So if you would like a reading from me, of course, get in touch with any of the details below. You can catch me at True Divine 44 on Facebook. Give me a like, follow. I put things up there, put videos up there. And until next time, be balanced, be whole, much love. Mwah.